What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we got the Day 12 recap of the 2022 Chicago Bears training camp. And at Day 12 in general, we had a shorter practice, maybe due to the many injuries that we have at the moment, or because of the heat. I don't know what actually was the case, but we had no pads today, and it was also open to the public. As for the non-participants today at practice, most important ones were Kyler Gordon, the rookie, Velus Jones Jr. as well. David Montgomery was not practicing today, maybe a veteran day off, I don't know. Cole Kmet also out. He had somewhat that shoulder injury yesterday, so no information about him, but he was not practicing today. Also, Ryan Griffin, David Moore, who had that leg injury yesterday, Kendall Vildor not there, Duke Shelley, Thomas Graham Jr., Tavon Young, Angelo Blackson, the list goes on and on. So a lot of injuries at the moment. So I think the Bears are just taking it a little bit lighter than the last couple of weeks. And with that being said, let's get right into it and talk about the offensive performance today. And the offense definitely looked much better than yesterday at the Family Fest, much more fluid. Plays down the field were actually connecting, so that was nice hearing. As for Justin Fields, he got some nice deep completions going today, which was obviously great to see. He showed some anticipation with a nice throw to Isiah Coulter. Great touch on that throw. He also connected with Equanimous St. Brown a couple of times, so their connection just building up once again. And in a end of half drill by the end of the practice today, he then had the throw of today to Isiah Coulter once again. Had a perfectly put ball over the defenders' heads, and in that case it were two players in coverage right there, and placed it into the bucket of Isiah Coulter's hands. Strong day by Fields overall once again, but by reporters it was even the best day he's had so far. Not too many reports about him though overall today, and not so many videos just like we had yesterday with the Family Fest, but still a pretty impressive day by Justin Fields, and he's just straight up getting better every single day. As for the backups, I have something on Trevor Siemian. He had an absolute bomb to Kevin Shaw, over 50 yards on that play. So nice seeing Trevor Siemian stepping up and having some good throws in there as well. As for the running backs, Khalil Herbert impresses with some good runs today, and also just his vision and his acceleration, so he's looking real sharp already. As for Darren Evans today, that was kind of interesting to me. Had a trick play throw. The ball went incomplete, but it's still interesting to see trying something like we did with Tyreek Cohen back in 2017, I think, in that Ravens game even, where he found Zach Miller in the end zone where he threw the ball. So interesting seeing the Bears kind of practicing some trick plays. That's obviously cool to see. So moving on to the wide receivers performance today, Darnell Mooney with a great concentration catch on the sideline today. The ball was tipped by Jalen Johnson, so pretty good coverage right there. But Mooney stayed on it with his eyes and made the catch, so nice seeing that. And Mooney also gave a hint today that N'Keal Harry's injury might not take that long to come back from, so some good news right there. He said that in his press conference, and I just hope he's back on the field as soon as possible again. And Mooney also stated in his press conference post-practice that he watches opponents' film with Matt Eberflus, so just getting his defensive insights to understand the game a bit better. And the wide receiver one is just dedicated and ready for that breakout season that is going to happen, no doubt. So love seeing that from Darnell Mooney. As for Equanimous St. Brown, he had a couple of catches today for some solid gains. Love seeing that. Nothing more about him today, though. Daz Newsome with a good performance once again. Found the soft spot on a play in the defense and made the catch. That's nice seeing. Isiah Coulter with the most impressive performance of the skill position players today. Managed to get open even against Jalen Johnson today once, but the coverage was still kind of tight. But he made the catch. That was nice. And also caught the play of the day later in practice between two defenders. Went up and caught it. That was absolutely beautiful. And the last receiver I want to talk about is Kevin Shaw. He caught that deep ball from Trevor Siemian for over 50 yards. Got open, made the catch, nice from the UDFA, and later he called a quick shallow cross route and turned upfield for a nice gain as well and just made these yards after the catch. So Kevin Shaw with a kind of underrated and good performance today as well. As for the offensive line, the first team starters today were Braxton Jones at left tackle, Cody Whitehair at left guard, Sam Mustipher at center, Michael Schofield at right guard, and Riley Reef at right tackle. So it looks like this will be the constellation heading into week 1. Obviously, Lucas Patrick looks like he's going to be back for week 1, so you have to change him with Sam Mustipher. But, then the offensive line looks kind of good in my opinion. As for Braxton Jones alone today, he was having an insane practice, holding down Robert Quinn in the 2-minute drill completely. And it's just iron sharpens iron. He's learning from one of the best in the game, and I just absolutely love how his development is going throughout training camp so far. And I can't wait and see how he does in the actual game, the preseason game, this Saturday. As for Tevin Jenkins, he worked at right guard as well as the offensive tackle spots today, had a bad rep against Dominique Robinson in one-on-ones, but responded quickly with holding down Travis Gibson on the next rep, so that was kind of nice, but he was mostly with the third stringers at right tackle during the team period today, so kind of a downgrade from yesterday where he was practicing with the second team. As for Larry Borum, he was back in with the second team at right tackle, but rotated into the first at times. Same goes for Jatiri Carter. And that wraps up the offensive performance today. Definitely a bounce back day after that bad practice at the Family Fest. And with that being said, let's move on to the defense. And the defense today, first of all, starting with the defensive line, Dominique Robinson with a great one-on-one pass rush against Tevin Jenkins. Simply swiped Tevin's hands and beat him in seconds, so love seeing that. Nothing on the linebackers today, and straight up moving forward to the defensive backs performance. Jalen Johnson with great coverage all day long, even though he allowed some completions, but he was always there. Just the catch or the throw was a bit better. Lamar Jackson with a very strong day. He is the starter next to JJ today, as Kyler Gordon, Kindle Vildor, Duke Shelley, Tavon Young, and Thomas Graham Jr. are all out, so he stepped up and was the starter today. Had a great pass breakup on Equanimous St. Brown in one-on-ones, and later had another great coverage and made the interception this time in one-on-ones as well. So Lamar Jackson is a huge corner, and I would love him succeeding in Chicago. He has the size and speed combination. It's just the fundamentals, and if he learns that in Chicago and actually earns a spot, I would absolutely love it, and it definitely looks like it at the moment. And the slot today was played by Jalen Jones, who did that once again as a UDFA. Is kind of cool to see as well. And Eddie Jackson with a good hit on Tajay Sharp today to break up the pass. So nice seeing Eddie Jackson getting some recognition and making some plays. He is just always around the ball, it seems like, and made a nice play there. And the rookie Jaquan Brisker also impressing with taking on blocks and doing the dirty work per reports on the field. So love to see that. Jaquan Brisker is just a straight up football player, a straight baller. And he should be really good going into the season, even though he's a rookie. So that already wraps up the defense today. And with that being said, let's move on to the special teams. And the special teams, first of all, I want to mention punter Trenton Gill. He's impressing special teams coordinator Coach Hightower a lot. Gill's putting in a lot of extra work with Santos and Pat Scales. Takes 100 snaps sometimes in a practice session. And that's just dedication right there from the young punter, showing that he has a huge leg and also he is dedicated with the field goals, holding the ball. So Trenton Gill is looking like an absolute steal, like I've mentioned before several times. As for our kicker, Cairo Santos today, he also mentioned in his presser that Soldier Field is in actual bad conditions. The grass is not good, has a lot of holes, and he practiced it on a high school soccer field to kind of get a feeling for it. At the moment, it seems like it's kind of an advantage when other kickers have to kick here. Let's just hope that Cairo actually makes all of his kicks by himself, but obviously it's not good news having a bad grass that can cause injuries and is obviously not great for the quality of the game. So finishing up the special teams today, overall a pretty good day in practice overall. The offense bounced back, the defense got them a couple of times nonetheless, and the special teams is looking strong as well. So that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned for the next couple of days for more update videos and the preseason game against the Chiefs. I will definitely do a recap on that as well. So like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.